So Briahna Joy Gray goes on Rising to talk about how Tucker Carlson is really anti-establishment. Sure, he's one of the richest people in media. Sure, he's got the highest rated media show. Sure, he controls the minds of millions of people. Sure, all of his friends are rich corporations, rich people that work for corporations, and politicians and lawyers and all other rich people. But he's anti-establishment because he criticized the president once, so he's anti-establishment. So here's Briahna Joy Gray just asking questions. Just asking questions. And I just want to say shout outs to Matt Dimitri on Twitter for posting these clips along with some fact checks that are very much so needed. She's just asking questions with a couple other right-wing goofballs about why are trans people allowed outside? Does anyone know? I was at the grocery store and I saw a tranny, and I was thinking to myself, I can't wait to go on Rising and just ask a couple questions on why this tranny is allowed in public. Let's watch.
I haven't followed this issue as closely as others. I'm, a left populist who's primarily concerned with the millions of Americans who...
So again, the conspiracy theory and the vague laundering of things that don't exist, right? I'm a left populist. That's what she's identifying as. Yeah, I'm a left populist who's just asking questions about why the trannies are allowed to be in public. I'm just asking. As a left populist, I would really like to know.
Can't afford food and are facing really high prices at the gas tank.
You know what's interesting? Trans people are some of the poorest people in the fucking country. Trans people face housing discrimination, employment discrimination, wage discrimination in record numbers. Trans people are discriminated against more in those categories than almost any other group in this country. Not to mention, imagine being a black trans person, which these people love to just pretend black trans people don't exist. They love to launder these conspiracy theories that trans people are just like rich, upper middle class white people. Black trans women are some of the most heavily discriminated people in this country. They're at the intersection of all forms of discrimination that makes their lives incredibly, incredibly difficult. Black trans people face record numbers of wage discrimination, hiring discrimination, housing discrimination. They're kicked out of their houses for being trans. They're beaten and murdered in record numbers. But, see, Briahna Joy Gray doesn't care about that. She cares about the only poor people that matter. The cisgender poor people, the straight poor people. She doesn't give a fuck about the queers. Fuck them. Why are they even allowed outside? So when she says she's a left-wing populist, she's doing the same thing Tucker Carlson does. Right-wing populism is, yeah, sure, all your problems in the world because of the brown people, because of the queers. That's what the problem is. I'm a populist. I'm bringing the people together to hate those people. That's what she's doing. Her brand of populism is no different than the neo-Nazi shit. It's no different than fascism. It's, I want what's best for my group, or just the group I've chosen to care about at any specific moment in time, and fuck everyone else. Fuck everyone else. Whatever group is most profitable to care about, I care about them and no one else. Fuck them. Let's continue.
High prices of the gas tank.
You say that with a certain amount of contempt.
Well, yeah, because I think
care about this instead.
Look, no, not that people can care about this, but I do think that it's important to point out how these stories are weaponized to distract from the fact that the GOP has little to nothing to offer to Americans outside of these kind of cultural fights. But look, I think the fundamental issue is that as a society, there was a decision made many hundreds and thousands of years ago to bifurcate women's and men's sports because of an understanding that there are biological differences there.
Hundreds of thousands of years ago? Wait, what? This is like, what?
Decision made many hundreds and thousands of years ago to bifurcate women's and men's sports because of an understanding that there are biological differences there.
So like cavemen, right, that couldn't even speak any language, right, that had like a stick and maybe they would throw the stick. They were having complex conversations about, well, really, when you really think about it, right, we've got this stick, and we've got 3 of these creatures and 4 of these creatures, because they don't know what gender is. They don't have any words, right? And so when you really think about it, we should only throw the stick between the boys, and the girls should throw the stick between... What? What? Like, what? And again, I say this with complete sincerity. I mean,
only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
What? What? Hundreds of thousands of years. What the fuck?
And people's performance ability, muscle capacity, and all of those things. And the reason was
cavemen. At this point, were we even Homo sapiens? Like multiple hundreds of thousands of years ago? Like, this is around when the Homo sapien was being developed. And they're measuring muscle mass and biometrics data? What? Like, I'm sorry, man. This shit's fucking stupid. And you can tell she is fumbling her words. She's got no idea what the fuck she's talking about. But instead of keeping her stupid fuckface scumbag douchebag fucking mouth shut, she's gonna say some stupid fucking transphobic fucking garbage. Yeah, fucking Neanderthals. We're doing chromosomal analysis to determine who's the best stick thrower? What the fuck?
To give, women assigned at birth competitors an ability to compete and win and not have to always go against men assigned at birth. And
notice how she's trying to weaponize. Oh, I'm saying things like AFAB and AMAB. So I'm an authority to just ask questions? This fucking shit is insane. Like, this bitch is on drugs. And I say this as a frequent drug user. This bitch is on drugs, man. That's some crazy fucking shit. That is like some Sam Harris level, like, garbage, man. Like, that is some really, like, holy fuck.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
I'm like, what?
And I believe, my understanding is that in the Olympic context, there are certain parameters that...
Now, again, she's using get out of jail free cards such as I believe and to my understanding. I have news for you. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, don't talk about it. If you don't even trust your own analysis enough to not have these get out of jail free card rhetorical tactics, maybe read a book before you talk about it in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Like, I don't know, man. What? I don't know. Just saying.
Competitors have to go through in terms of how long do you have to have been transitioning? Are your hormone levels comparable to, the gender assigned at birth people that you are competing against and all those kinds of things? And it seems to have been largely resolved and less of an issue there. I'm not sure what's going on in the Leah Thompson case. There are people who feel both ways on her team, obviously. I'm not sure what the...
So she's saying, it seems that we've solved this issue. But there's people out there that don't like the trannies, and I don't know. What? That's like saying, like, oh yeah, I mean, we've seemed to solve the racism issue. But those Klansmen over there, they really think that the black people have a lower IQ. So, hey, I don't know. It seems that we've done some studies to find out that there is no IQ difference between races and that race doesn't play a factor at all in intelligence. But the Ku Klux Klan has a different opinion, so I don't know what I believe.
The comments about changing rooms are all about, there are in all likelihood lesbian members of the team. The idea of there being like sexual attraction in the locker room, I think, is a kind of a nothing burger. But, ultimately, I don't think this is going anywhere, because I do think we have to grapple with that underlying choice that society made to have this.
Once again, I want to remind people, in Ohio, there is a bill for mandatory genital checks on children to make sure they're not trans. that is the end result of what this fucking just asking questions bullshit is about.
Bifurcation in the sports world that is based on some acknowledged differences physically between people who are born assigned at birth male versus women.
Based on the literal differences between men and women,
if I say literal, then that means it must be true.
There just are differences. It's not.
You know what? There's differences in every person. Every person is different. I don't know if you knew this. Some people are 5'5". Some people are 6'5". There's differences. They exist. Like this idea, there's differences, so that means discrimination is okay? Because there's differences. Huh? The point of dividing up men and women's sports is because the people in charge of those decisions, right? The people in charge of those decisions said, well, one group has an average of these qualities. The other group has an average of these qualities. There are outliers in both of those groups. There are women that are way fucking stronger than men. There are men, right, that are way slower than women. Because not all men are the same and not all women are the same. Okay? Like, the idea of dividing the sports is based on averages, right? And these averages have been discriminated against outliers forever. Forever. Right? There are cisgender women that are banned from women's sports because they've got a biological advantage of having too much testosterone. They're not doing any drugs. They're not trannies. But they've got a biological advantage. So they're banned from women's sports. And then they're banned from men's sports because they're not men. So they're just banned from sports. So, I don't know, man. Maybe we need to rethink these categories. Because trans people aren't the only example of these categories not really working out so well. Maybe, just maybe, every sport should have its own category classes. You know, like boxing has weight classes, right? Because they determined in boxing that weight really affects the outcome. You can have a 280-pound man versus a 130-pound man, and guess what? One of them is going to get their fucking neck broken. Because guess what? All people are different. So they decided, let's have weight classes. Every sport, based on what the sport is, should have some sort of classes. If you are 5'4" and want to play basketball, why do you have to play a standardized version of basketball designed for people that are 6'4"? Why can't you have fun and play your own fucking sport? These people make a mountain out of a molehill, and they never, ever look at any of the facts or the data because they don't care.
This is not the gender gets compared to race all the time. Look, there are not fundamental differences between the races the way there actually are differences between men and women. Yeah. There are some just...
The argument that was used in support of the Negro Leagues for baseball was that black people were stronger than white people, so they had to have their own leagues. That's what they said. The blacks are way too strong. They're big and strong. They'd kill and beat all the white people at baseball. Turned out, not really true. Turned out, segregated sports didn't really make that much sense. Turned out, integrating the sports made more sense. It turned out. Like, this fucking idea, this just asking questions, or just stating biological realities, is just fucking dumb. It's low IQ cringe lord shit.
There's just truth to that. That there's differences in preferences that are not totally, that cannot.
So you can read more here on the Leah Thomas situation. Well, let's go on.
No, I was just going to say that, I agree that this is one of those battles that I think it's just blown way out of proportion. Though I do think that the Leah Thomas case, I agree. I don't think that she should be competing. I was a swimmer myself my entire life.
As a swimmer, I don't think the trannies should be allowed in a 5-foot radius of me. As a swimmer, as a left-wing populist, why are the trannies allowed at the grocery store? Ugh. Just asking questions.
And so I don't think that she should be competing against the women. She competed as a man for 3 years on the men's team, and then suddenly and fairly unsuccessfully. It's still very, very impressive as an intercollegiate swimmer to make an NCAA team, Division I.
I don't think she should compete with the women. This fucking shit is embarrassing, man. This fucking shit is embarrassing. I mean, Kim Iversen's a swimmer, so she's an expert.
Man, even if you're losing every single swim meet. But nonetheless, shouldn't be competing with the women. But I do think that this is...
That's the thing. A trans person can lose, and no one cares. No one cares. The moment a trans person wins anything, oh my god! The trannies got a biological advantage. Did Michael Phelps have a biological advantage? What about Usain Bolt? Do they have biological advantages? What the fuck? What the fuck? A trans person can lose 96% of the time, but if they won 1 or 2 rounds, we gotta ban all the trannies from the world. They got biological advantages. But Michael Phelps, he's all good. What? This fucking shit is insane. This fucking shit is crazy. These people are crazy, psychopathic, fucking assholes. They are scumbags, dude. These are the worst people in our society. The people that launder these dangerous conspiracy theories to propagate hatred of minorities. It's fucking gross, man.
A blown way out of proportion. I mean, we don't see really that. This isn't actually affecting everybody's life. I mean, how many trans people do you actually know? How many trans people...
She said the quiet part out loud. How many trans people do you actually know? I guarantee you the answer for all 3 of these people, 0. Guaranteed it. They may have talked to a trans person at some point in their lives, but they don't actually know any trans people on a deeply personal level. They don't give a fuck. They don't fucking care. They don't fucking care.
Do you know who are then trying to do things such as compete against you in some sort of sport? Right. I mean, this is like such a tiny, tiny group of people that this is actually affecting.
Number of people.
Tiny.
It's a small number of people, so let's just propagate these conspiracy theories and lies about them for I don't know, however long, 5 to 6 minutes on our show in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Let's just lie about these people. I don't know anything. I've never even spoken to a trans person, but here's 5 reasons why the trannies should be banned from being in public. This is fucking insane, man. This is insane. These people are fucking psychos. Fucking psycho, fucking psycho, fucking psycho. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. They're garbage. I hope and pray, and I don't even believe in God, by the way, every night that these people will never be on television again. Because they're trash. But why are they on television? Why are they being paid by billionaires to promote this stuff? It's, I don't know, maybe read Noam Chomsky's Manufacturing Consent. I'm not going to be invited on Rising. I'm not going to be invited on Fox News. I'm not going to be invited on Bad Faith. Why? Because I actually give a fuck about other people. I actually give a fuck about the things I claim that I do. And I am not able to be bought and paid for. So they're not going to allow me on these programs. Briahna Joy Gray, on the other hand, she's on the market. She's looking for someone to pay her for anything.
I mean, hardly anybody is actually affected by this, but this is blown way out of proportion into some giant cultural war issue.
I love how they're talking about it's blown out of proportion. Meanwhile, they are also propagating the conspiracy theories that blow it out of proportion. That's fucking insane.
That is being used as a distraction. And where I disagree with you, Breeze, I don't think it's just the Republicans because they have nothing to offer. I think neither side has anything to offer. They lie to the American people all the time.
That's true. And the flip side is the Democrats use all the flag waving, and we love these groups as the counter. And, you know, I personally think that we should love those groups, but that's also not a policy prescription to actually help.
We should love those groups, but I'm just asking questions about why the men and the trannies are allowed to swim. I think we should love those groups. We should. That's like, that's like the fossil fuel companies going like, we should get off of coal and natural gas. We should. Huh?
Help those groups that Democrats like to give a lot of lip service to saying they love and support and care about.
And I don't think we should malign. Again, she deserves all the respect and human dignity.
She deserves all the respect and human dignity, but I'm not going to give her any. She deserves it, but I'm not going to give her any. But she does deserve it. But also, fuck that tranny. Why is she allowed to swim? These people are fucking gross. These people are fucking garbage, man. And again, it's the get out of jail free card rhetoric. Oh, I said that I theoretically support these groups, even though everything else I said is dangerous, bizarre conspiracy theories. I said at the end of it that, we should love them, so can you really criticize anything I said? Look, did you not see at the end I said that we should be supportive? Yeah, sure. 85% of what I said was garbage right-wing propaganda. But I said maybe it's wrong, so
whatever bathroom stuff is really always, I think, very stupid. It is not. I don't want to malign her at all. We're just talking.
I don't want to malign her, but we're just asking questions. I don't want to disrespect her, but we're just asking questions.
At all. We're just talking narrowly about whether someone who has had this experience, is it fair for them to compete against other women and it's clearly not. It's just clearly not.
Oh, it's clearly not. You know, like, note this fucking weaselly fucking scumbag who's like, well, these conspiracy theories might be wrong, but they're clearly true. What? Like, notice this last 10 seconds from this scumbag, weaselly, fucking fuck, cocksucker, motherfucker.
We're just talking narrowly about whether someone who has had this experience, is it fair for them to compete against other women and it's clearly not. It's just clear.
First of all, what the fuck is fairness? What the fuck is fairness? I ask a question. Why does everything need to be fucking fair? All human beings are built differently. Let's say I'm playing Halo 3 multiplayer, and someone wants to play against me, but they're disabled and they only have one hand. Does that mean we can't be allowed to play together? It's not fair. It's not fair. Why does everything need to be fair? What if we're just friends and we want to have a good time? Why does everything need to be a super hardcore competition? Imagine someone with PTSD. Maybe they went to a war, right? And they get triggered and have a PTSD episode when they hear gunshots. And they can't enter a shooting competition. Let's say, there's a shooting competition. They would love to enter. They're a really good shot. But every time they hear gunfire, they have a PTSD episode. So does that mean everyone who wants to play the shooting competition should have to use suppressors or something? Or what? Does that mean we have to change the rules because it's not fair for that random guy? Not everything needs to be a fucking competition. I think all sports are fucking stupid, by the way. Just to throw that out there. I think sports are fucking stupid. I think categorization is fucking stupid. That's my opinion. But Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck are these people on? They're on drugs. These people are on fucking drugs. So, you can see Matthew Dimitri's thread here. I recommend everyone check the sources. But these fucking people are insane. They're fucking insane. Fuck them. Briahna Joy Gray is garbage. She fucking used us. And when I say us, I mean people that actually cared about the Bernie fucking campaign in 2020. I fucking volunteered on that campaign. I met Briahna Joy Gray in person, right? I used to look up to these people, but they sold us out for fucking crumbs from the establishment. They threw us under the fucking bus for a fucking paycheck. Fuck them. Fuck all of these fucking morons. I'm so sick of these fucking stupid prick loser scumbags just asking questions about whether I or someone like me is allowed to participate in society. Go fuck yourself. That's all I have to say. All right.